in literature. That is topic number 3, reading for literary work. So our discussion will base upon how the correct way of answering questions that appears in that topic, reading for literary work. Today, let us deal with with the NECTA question, National Examination Council, the question that appears in the National Examination in 2020. It is question number 11. Question number 11 in that year reads that the questioning states that playwrights use different characters to portray various issues in their literary works. Playwrights use different characters to portray various issues in their literary works. Choose 3 characters from each of the 2 plays chosen and show how they have been used to portray different issues. First of all, when you come across such a question in the national examination or wherever, you need to read clearly the question so that you can be able to understand. In other words, you can say that you need to paraphrase such a question in order to identify the demand of that question. For this case, the question asks if playwrights use different characters. In this question, you are supposed to, in this question, that is how you can paraphrase the question. State it in a different way. When I say to paraphrase, you need to state it in a different way so that you can be able to fix or to identify the demand of that question. What is the target of that question? So in this question, you are instructed to use 3 characters. Use 3 characters to portray the issues, to portray various issues. Dear students, as a student, you are required to identify a character. You need to identify a character and the issue that she or he portrays. Now, as usual, when answering any question in literature, you need to divide your essay in 3 parts. Part number 1 is the introductory part. In the introductory part, you need to identify the key words that are needed to be behind before you start answering this question. Let us now see, in this question, class, can you try to identify an important word or a key word that should be defined before starting answering this question? My dear students, who can try to identify a key, a word that is very important to be defined before answering the question? Who can try? Yes? Character. So first of all, in this question, you need to know the meaning of character. So in the introductory part, you need to define character. Now, character has been defined. It might be a person, it might be an animal, or any non-living creature that has been used by the author, by the playwright, to convey the intended message to the readers. Still in the introductory part, my dear students, this statement can be supported by. So after defining the key term, you need to show the list of reading, the important reading that you are going to use in answering this question. So you have to show what kind of reading or which book or which books are you going to use in answering this question. That's why they are stated in the introductory part. So for this question, I'm going to use The Lion and the Jewel. You see how it is written in quotation marks. The Lion and the Jewel, which is written by Soika, and another book is 3 Suitors, 1 Husband, which is written by Laune Olombia. That is still in the introductory part. Let's go to the body to see how we are going to do. In the body, here, my dear students, you need to show which reading. Do not confuse. In this section, do not confuse. You have stated the reading that you are going to use. Now, when you starting answering the question, you need And the character used, you need to show them from the line that the character that are being used is Lakunle, Chief Baroka, and Csee. So you are going to use the 3 characters as it is stated from the question. The question demands you to use the 3 characters from each reading. So you need to show them. So you are going to use the Csee, Baroka, and the Lakunle. How? After identifying, that is point number 1. You need to identify a character. After identifying him, you need to show the issue she or he portrays. The issue carried by such a person as Lakunle, Lakunle abandoned African ways of life. That is the key issue. The issue carried by Lakunle. He abandoned the African ways of life. That he is preserving the modern or adapting the modern ways of life. That is the issue. How? You said that the man abandoned African ways of life. How? You need to tell us how. The question is stating how she portrays, how the issues are portrayed. So right from the single, the single point you need to show 3 factors. Identify the character, state the issue portrayed, and you have to show how the issue has been portrayed by that particular character. It's a single point, my dear student. Lakunle abandoned African ways of life and adapting modern ways of life. How? As she convinces Csee to ignore bride price. Bride price is an element of the traditional culture. Lakunle is against such things. Ignore bride price, claiming that the custom is outdated. That is all point number 1 for the the testing reading. Let's go to another point. Another character here is Csee. Still in the same book. Csee portray issues like bride price and the polyganism. There is Csee, a character. The issue portrayed is polyganism, and now you need to show how the issue is being portrayed, my dear students. She refuses to marry Lakunle just because the man doesn't want to pay the bride price, claiming that paying the bride price is like buying a woman. The man is against such a thing. But Csee refuses to marry Lakunle. Although she loves that man, but she refuses to marry Lakunle because the man adapted the modern ways is against the paying of bride price. So in that point, if you have noted, we identified the character also. We identified the character, we portray the issue, and we show how it has been portrayed in the book. Let's go to another character. The last one is Chief Baroka. Same character. The issue portrayed by Chief Baroka is the money-like African culture, corruption, shows the women oppression. Baroka also shows polyganism and the misuse of power. The money portrays various issues here. So after portrays various issues, how he portrays that issue. He banned the project of constructing Rome, fearing that if the presence of Rome can make people move from one place to another, that means there could be interaction of people. So people could be coming, others going, therefore they could distort the African culture. Let's go to another book. Now we are through with the first book. We are through with this book. Now let's go to another book that is 3 Sweeties, 1 Husband. Now you are supposed to identify 3 characters, show the issue portrayed and how the issue has been portrayed. Yes, show me. Now you have to tell us when you are coming, when you are going to use another book to tell us, you need to state it. Okay? Turning to 3 Sweeties, husband. Turning to 3 Sweeties, 1 Husband shows that you are jumping from one book to another. The characters to be used are, you need to identify the characters from another book. we are going to use Juliet, Mia, and Atangana. These characters are formed in this book, 3 literacy, 1 person. After that, you need to take one character, identify the issue portrayed, and you need to show how he is portraying that issue. Juliet portrays an issue of awareness. She portrays an issue of awareness. How? After attending this communication, Juliet realizes that she can make this decision concerning his or her own life. That is how the issue of awareness has been portrayed. Juliet is aware. How is he aware? By rejecting that. For that matter, Juliet was asked by the whole family to get married to Mia, a man who was taking money. But Juliet refuses that. This thing shows that the girl is aware. That is an issue of awareness. Let us go to another character from this book, is Mia. Mia portrays an issue of polygamy. There is polygamy in this society. The man portrays an issue of polygamy. Apart from having many wives, when you read the book, you can get a story that Mia has having maybe more than 18 wives. But the man shows the intention of marrying Vicky. That is polygamism. So it is shown in this the same point. There is a character there, Mia, an issue portrayed is polygamy, and how it's where Mia shows the intention of marrying Juliet. He uses his power as a civil, as a civil servant to get support from other people. That's all about this point. Let's go to the last character. The last character from this book is Yatangana. Who is Yatangana class? The father of who? Juliet. The issue portrayed by Atangana is bride price and the superstitious beliefs. How this issue has been portrayed in the book. He is willing to marry his daughter. He's ready. The man is ready to marry his daughter to any man who is capable to pay the large amount of a bride price. That is how the issue has been portrayed. Needs allowing anybody to marry his daughter, provided that he is able to pay the large amount of a bride price. This is what we call bride price. The man is after bride price. Another issue portrayed is the superstitious belief. Superstition, believing in natural power. The man portrays that issue when he asks Sangatiti, said a witch doctor, to find it, to identify the thief, the man which has been stolen. Now Sangatiti, where was asked by Atangana to find, to identify the thief. This is what we call superstitious belief. Now, you see from the first point, from the introductory part, you see how you have started to answer question. Now, you can wind up this question by giving out the conclusion. Here I have written conclusion, but in answering, you don't need to say conclusion. You go directly to these words. Now this question can be concluded in the same way. It's an example. You can conclude it in a different way. It's not necessarily in this way. The success of any playwright, depends upon the quality choose of characters. Not only that, who could play their role assigned by the authors, but other aspects like in language, like the simplicity of the language, and the application or appropriate use of literary devices enable the character to succeed. That is all about question number 11. How to answer question. My dear students, are we together? Yes. Okay. Let me end here. When you come across with such a question, I insist to you, first of all, to reread the question so that you can identify. As we have seen in the introductory part, we have paraphrasing the question. That means we get the way of we're starting on how to answer that question. We cited the reading that we are going to use, and in the body, we tried to identify the demand of the question. That is, to identify a character, to portray the issue, and to show how that issue has been portrayed. So when you come across with any question on literature, try to find out the demand of that question. As you have seen how I have instructed you to do.